Thank you very much, Deepak, and thank you for organizing this wonderful ASSOCHAM Foundation Week. I believe 101 years. It's a
Yes, sir.
remarkable journey. My compliments to you and all the distinguished leaders of ASSOCHAM, Mr. Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani. We have with us Sajan Jindal, the past president and one of the leading lights of both Indian industry and ASSOCHAM. Vineet, my best wishes to you going forward. You have a very, very tough task. I hope you do well as you take over from the very able hands of Dr. Niranjan. He sets very high standards wherever he goes. So you have your task cut out, I can tell you that. Thank you, Parag, Nitin, Mohammad Bhai, and Vivek for your comments and questions. And Deepak, my apologies for that little bit of interruption in between. I didn't realize my mic was on. But as you're all aware, I'm multitasking a little more than normal these days. So I was just conveying some instruction.
No, I didn't
Thank you
want, we were live, so I didn't want you to be on a call. So,
good, because the next sentence would have been worse. I'm glad you pointed it out. I really believe that you hit the nail on the head when you're looking at discussing the future of manufacturing in India and particularly how we can become a competitive global hub. We've been hearing this story for far too long. And all of us have been saying India should become a manufacturing powerhouse. We should expand our contribution of manufacturing to the GDP to 25% at least. And all of that, at least for the last 20 years, all of us are hearing this. For the first time, I think Prime Minister Modi has actually brought out with greater clarity an attempt in partnership with industry to work out how we can achieve that. And I must acknowledge the huge contribution that ASSOCHAM is doing in making this a reality. Probably all your other colleagues may also not be fully aware of the steering committee on advancement of localization and exports and employment, the SCALE committee, which all the associations, business leaders, industry, chambers of commerce and trade and industry are collectively spearheading to identify areas where India has the competitive or comparative advantages to become a global leader, where we can expand our manufacturing to never before scale of operation with high productivity, high quality, and the 24 sectors that all of you are working on, we can clearly see will contribute 20 lakh crores annually, which means over the next 10 years, nearly 200 lakh crores additional contribution to manufacturing. And I'm just taking a flat calculation. Obviously, this will grow. Once the dynamism and momentum comes into it, then 20 lakh can become 50 lakhs by the 10th year. It's a question of our self-confidence and our ability to believe in ourselves. And I must say, you have contributed immensely in playing that catalytic role in shaping up trade, commerce, and industrial environment in the country over your 100 years of existence. As they say, by people getting together and celebrating this idea of togetherness, great things can happen. And I think it's this spirit of partnership. And I must say, I find that spirit within your organization and when you're dealing with government and when you're dealing with your sister industry associations. That is what the power of India really is. If Indian industry takes it upon itself that we will support each other, great things can happen in India. I must acknowledge what Sajanji and his company had decided that I think in the next 2 or 3 years, they will reduce their dependence on imports by about 5,000 crores a year, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, that's the kind of spirit we need to inculcate across industry in India. And to my friend Parag Satpute, I acknowledge that MNCs have a valuable role to play. It's not as if we are closing our doors. In fact, we are opening our doors wider. When we talk of Atmanirbhar Bharat, we want greater engagement. But wherever we have our capabilities, we should be global in scale, world-class quality, highest productivity levels, and as Mr. Jindal today shared with us, we should be the lowest cost producer of high quality product anywhere in the world. That should be our aspirational goal. And when we all come together to achieve this goal, it's the only mantra of success. Because then we will have to be more accommodating. Niranjan in his business can possibly use a sanitary ware fitting made in India or imported from China, which would possibly be cheaper initially. I don't know about the quality, but certainly it would add thousands of jobs to India. And if that message goes to the entire real estate industry, millions of jobs. May cost them initially a few rupees more. But as the scale comes in, as more and more manufacturing capabilities expand, both in the organized large sector and the MSME sector, I assure you even the cost will come down. But we need to believe in ourselves. We need to handhold our colleagues in industry, demand high quality, but also help them achieve that high quality. And that is why I said, when we get together and we celebrate this partnership, great things can happen in India. ASSOCHAM, of course, is a fountainhead of knowledge. Your sister associations, and I say this because I was very active in the Indian Merchants Chamber, which is also one of your member chambers. You have really the capability to help industry upscale, align industry with international benchmarks, develop formidable competitive edge in Indian industry, and compete globally. And I would urge ASSOCHAM to play a mentorship role. Leaders like Sajan, Vineet, Niranjan should dedicate a part of their quality time to mentor the rest of Indian industry. So while Sajanji can certainly make his company the world's most competitive steel plant, can he help our MSME sectors, our startup ecosystem, also in developing their capabilities, their quality standards, their productivity standards, their efficiency in operations for better cost controls? Can Niranjan play that role to make affordable housing across India more sensibly, more affordable, better quality, given his vast experience of he and his whole family for more than 40 years now, probably? And he's my brother, chartered accountant, so I have personal experience of his capabilities because he's brought in the best of knowledge to a sector which never was as professional as he made it 30, 35 years ago. I don't remember any professionalism in the real estate industry before Hiranandani brought in those massive buildings in Powai, amongst his various other initiatives. Now, why I say this is, COVID has caused huge disruptions. We all know that. Speakers before me talked about it. But are we going to cry over it? Are we going to convert it into an opportunity? The ball is in our court. We have to choose. We have to choose wisely. Smart thinking is what is going to take us ahead of our competition. Smart solutions is what we have to all collectively look for. And how this pandemic. And it's happened exactly 100 years after the Spanish flu. Look at the timing. Of course, still today, I for one cannot crack how Contagion movie in 2011 could have visualized this whole story to the T. I mean, to the extent that in my own home in Mumbai, we put in toothpicks at the elevators. To that extent of accuracy, Contagion comes out in 2011, certainly raises a big question mark on what's happened in the world. But let's not get down that path today. We are on the story of converting this crisis into an opportunity. And I think ASSOCHAM, of course, has played a wonderful role over the last 9 months. And I have full confidence in the abilities of Indian industry and all of you in making up for this lost time, and not only making up, but actually moving towards the $5 trillion economy even faster than anybody can imagine. The fast recovery that we are seeing in India is testimony to all the good work you are doing. And as Prime Minister Modi says, this is truly the best time to be in India. And it is even a better time to make in India. Manufacturing will always be a priority of this government. In our own ministry, we are working on a number of initiatives. While government has reduced income tax to never before levels, I think new manufacturing after October 19 is taxed at 15% and including surcharges at 17%. It's one of the lowest rates in our region. Possibly if you leave the UAE, I don't think there's a comparable place. And the UAE, billion people market, a huge middle class aspiring for a better quality of life. Those opportunities that India offers, coupled with the various initiatives on defense, mining, labor reform, agricultural reform, finance sector reform, opening up of manufacturing in defense, the effort to digitalize the entire country and take optic fiber to 600,000 villages within 1,000 days. And I think the Prime Minister on 15th August has made a very, very bold announcement. Just like in 2015, he dropped the bombshell. And I must share with you, I was sitting at the ramparts of the Red Fort while he was addressing the nation with my wife. And when he announced that every village in the country, and please understand, that's the first step to taking electricity to every household. When he said every village in the remotest part of India, be it in Arunachal Pradesh or the valley in Kashmir or the remotest village in Himachal, will be electrified in 1,000 days. I was clapping very enthusiastically. My wife tapped me and said, hey, it's for you. That's your job now to do it. And I realized the significance of the onerous task ahead of us. When he announced 1,000 days and 600,000 villages having the benefit of optic fiber and digital connectivity, it's not an easy task, ladies and gentlemen. I remember when I embarked on putting in Wi-Fi in all the railway stations, and we today have 5,600 plus railway stations with Wi-Fi. It was a huge, humongous task. Here we are talking of reaching 600,000 villages. But we have the confidence that in our partnership with industry, this can be done, and together we shall be successful. Our journey with the Make in India program, which started a few years ago, is now picking up pace, is accelerating very fast. The Atmanirbhar Bharat package had a series of announcements to encourage Indian-made product. The PLI scheme will have extremely positive outcomes on the Make in India initiative and the efforts through the steering committee where ASSOCHAM is a member to declog the problems of industry. For example, when we looked at furniture, we realized we'll have to make it very easy to get raw material from abroad. Because it's not available in India. We'll have to possibly reduce duties on wood coming into India. We'll have to create large furniture parks where we can manufacture to scale so that we are not dependent on foreign goods to serve all our businesses, all our IT parks, all our factories and our hotels and other home requirements. And bringing in scale and quality and productivity in manufacturing is truly going to transform the manufacturing sector in India. We are open to ideas. Sajanji did share his own experience a little bit, but I need 50 lakh crores of investment in the railways. I'll never be able to do it in the next 10 years unless I invite greater degree of private sector participation. I think it was Vineet Agarwal who yesterday shared with me that there is a shortage of containers which is affecting our exports. He shared with me that there are locations where containers are lying, but unless the railways moves them quickly and possibly free, we may not be able to meet the needs of our export businesses. I do hope by today evening, I don't know, has it happened by now? I've instructed my office that by today evening they have to take a call, which are the routes and where the containers are lying and whether we can move them free of charge for the next 15 days as you recommended, so that our dead asset can be put to active use and help us get back to our earlier growth levels in exports. Now, this is a government that is yearning for your ideas. We are, I won't say demanding, but requesting you for more and more ideas. And I would urge ASSOCHAM to have as many engagements as you can, sectorally, regionally. Ask your stakeholders what their concerns, problems, difficulties are. Share it with DPIIT, the Industry Ministry or Commerce Ministry. And I assure you, our intention is pure. Our effort will not be found lacking. There may be occasions we may not be able to meet all your expectations, but I can assure you of full effort with the best of intention and a commitment to try and achieve results. And when we work with that spirit of confidence in each other, trust in each other, there's no power on earth which can stop India from becoming a global player and expanding our own contribution to international resilient global supply chains, expand our contribution to international trade, expand our engagement with our Indian companies engaging with the other companies around the world, invite MNCs to invest in India and make in India, expand scope for investment in different sectors in India, help Indian entrepreneurs, particularly our startups and MSMEs, grow in their own ambitions, and together we can ensure that Make in India is not a slogan. It becomes a reality, and 25% stake in manufacturing really does happen. Warren Buffett said a long time ago, someone sitting in the shade today is because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have an opportunity today to plant the seeds, to sow the seeds for our trees of tomorrow to serve our children, our future generations for more sustainable development, for a better quality of life, for ease of living in the future, ensure better healthcare, better education, better skill development, integration of our people's knowledge and our economy with the rest of the world. And I assure you, full support and commitment to work together, work aggressively together to make India a global manufacturing hub and increase the share of manufacturing to 25%, a dream that all of us have collectively had, and all of us have collectively decided on the target of $5 trillion by 2025. We have taken several initiatives. We believe the robust demand that 135 crore Indians provide for industry and manufacturing and services to engage with India, a growing middle class yearning for better quality of life with purchasing power in their hands, a young population seeing what's available in the rest of the world, wanting the fruits of development in their own lives, and the high return on investment that India provides makes India a credible investment destination and a huge investment opportunity. Whether it's the PLI scheme, whether it's the investment promotion cells in all the ministries, whether it's the empowered group of secretaries that will engage sectorally with industry and work out how we can expand to global scale to engage with the rest of the world, whether it's the project development cells in each ministry in the central government that we have formed, whether it's a state and district reforms action plan 2020 to help make India an easier place to do business in. Because ultimately our ease of doing business ranking is dependent on the ease that you face both at the center, state and the local level. We'll all have to work in partnership, and I have no doubt that in this liberalized FDI framework, with the policies and procedures of government working towards easing your compliance requirement, making everything digital and online, reducing the burden of frequent renewals of licenses and government clearances, truly trying to make a single window. And I promise you, I'm putting in my best to really make a genuine single window. As I said on a couple of occasions earlier, historically we've seen single windows which when you open, just open out to 10 doors behind them. The DPIIT is making a genuine effort to provide a single window on approvals amongst various ministries at the center, compliance of various laws in India, and also at the state and local level. We're trying to integrate this, and I do hope that by March or April, you will see the first cut of a genuine single window that can ease your compliance burden, help you promote your businesses and focus on business rather than government and government compliances. Success of all these initiatives, ladies and gentlemen, can only come through aspiration, perspiration, and inspiration. It's the inspiration of Prime Minister Modi that motivates all of us to work harder, to work faster, to work better. But it's the perspiration of millions and millions of our co-workers, employees, staff, the people of India that will make India truly a global superpower. And it's that aspiration of our Indian entrepreneurs, our Indian youth, our Indian startups, our Indian MSMEs, all of you industrialists, businessmen, your aspiration that will drive our people's perspiration and inspire us to do a better job, to work harder, to encourage your businesses, your efforts. I believe Atmanirbhar Bharat is not only a statement of intent. When Prime Minister Modi says, be vocal for local, he says it from his heart. He believes we have millions of youngsters, capable young boys and girls. They should get an opportunity. The scale initiative on these 24 sectors alone, adding 20 lakh crore of manufacturing in India, if you will calculate And we all know that by and large, the entire ecosystem, direct and indirect, that 20 lakh crores of manufacturing will provide, will give at least 30% of that amount straight into the pocket of the people of India in terms of salaries, wages, other costs on our employees, indirect costs on the services that 20 lakh crores of manufacturing will entail. So imagine 6 lakh crores going directly into the pocket of our people of India through salary, wages, other benefits. You are looking at least 3 crore plus young boys and girls getting work opportunity, jobs, employment, or entrepreneurship opportunities. Can you imagine the dimension at which you can contribute to providing a better quality of? And therefore, I appeal to all of you, please participate with your best foot forward in these efforts. Give us your ideas. Be demanding when it comes to your engagement with the government. Don't worry if you feel that the demands are a little outrageous. I mean, I know when Sajjan first talked about wanting to set up a railway line, I promise you didn't expect what I responded. And we are committed. Only yesterday I've had a review meeting and pulled up the railway officials that the policy is already overdue. Why has the policy not come out? And I've given them until, I think, 25th to finalize a policy for greater private sector engagement and ownership of entire railway lines. We've already liberalized the policy on freight in a very big way, as Vineet will, I hope, acknowledge. We have already taken a number of steps, due to which from August onwards, or September or August, I think, yes, August onwards, we are continuously growing in railway freight over last year. And currently, the railway freight in the COVID year, friends, is only 4% down on a year-on-year basis until yesterday. And we hope that by February, we will overtake last year's performance on railway freight. That is the commitment of government, and that is the commitment that I would urge all of you to also work towards and help us in our goal for a V-shaped recovery. Help us in our whole goal to get the mojo back into manufacturing and the economy back to the pre-COVID levels, and then growing rapidly thereafter. As an American poet, Mr. Longfellow once said, if you would hit the mark, you must aim a little above it. Every arrow that flies feels the attraction of earth. It's a very deep comment. Unless we aspire high, aim high, the earth's gravity and the forces will pull you down. So if you aim low, you will let invisible forces pull you down and never be able to achieve transformational goals. Ladies and gentlemen, let's aim high. Let's be aggressive in our targets. Let's look at transforming India at a rapid pace so that we don't lose sight from our goal, just like Arjun's eye was on the fish's eye. Focused towards the target. I invite ASSOCHAM to be a part of this government's effort to make India a global superpower. $5 trillion economy in the next 5 years, $10 trillion economy in the next 6 or 7 years, and why not aspire to be the world's largest economy in the next maybe 25 years? That's the kind of goal the people of India are looking for from all of us And that's the type of goal that I invite all of you to be a part of. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I wish ASSOCHAM all success in your efforts. I'm sure your foundation week will be a tremendous success. You will come up with a lot of new ideas for us to work on. I pray for your and your near and dear ones good health and safety. A very, very happy new year to you and your families. Let 2021 be the year of change, be a great year for India. Thank you.